She was picking out a turkey for Thanksgiving. Then two armed robbers suddenly burst in. They shot the clerk on the spot. The old lady shrank in the corner in fear. They thought the robbers would leave after taking the money, but they underestimated how cruel the robbers were. Little did the robbers know, the 80-year-old woman they casually killed had 4 sons who were mixed up in gangs. On the day of the funeral, the whole town showed up to mourn voluntarily. They were furious over her death, because she was a well-known kind woman in the area. Even though she never had kids of her own, she spent 30 years helping hundreds of orphans find new families, but 4 of them were too naughty. No family would take them in. She couldn't bear to see them starve on the streets, so she kept those 4 boys and raised them all by herself. The 4 brothers had different skin colors, but they were always as close as real brothers. The hot-headed oldest brother led the 3 others. In just 2 short years, they took over all the local gangs. Even though her sons killed and caused chaos all day, their mother never gave up on them. With her quiet and careful guidance, the 4 brothers finally changed their ways. The oldest quit the life and became a normal man. The second got married and started a family. The third joined the army to serve the country. The fourth picked up his childhood dream and started a rock band. Because of their mother's death, the 4 unrelated brothers came together again, eating the turkey their mother should have bought, with an indescribable bitterness in their hearts. Even though their mother wasn't at the table anymore, they all couldn't help looking at the empty seat. For a moment, their mother's words still echoed in their ears.
Zip up your mouth, Jeremiah. You grow up in a barn? I know bad things happened to you before you came to me. But you're safe now. But take your elbow off the table.
The 4 brothers couldn't accept it, that the woman who always treated them like family was gone just like that, and this inevitable revenge mission officially began under the oldest brother's lead.
Let's go get a pickup game.
Later they went to see the sheriff, but the sheriff only said that at the time of the crime, there were witnesses playing basketball nearby who could prove it was just a random killing during a robbery. They didn't get the information they wanted from the police, so they put their hope in the law firm their mother often visited, hoping to get some clues from the lawyer. But the lawyer said he couldn't help, because all he could offer, besides a $400,000 insurance payout, was a box of documents the old lady left them.
Birth certificate. The adoption papers.
Henry Ford Hospital. So I am from Detroit.
But while the men were frustrated about not finding the killers, the second brother had a different opinion. He thought finding the killers should be left to the police, and to convince the other 3, he brought up their late mother.
People who did this, they probably from the same shitty-ass streets we from. Mom would have been the first to forgive them, and y'all know that.
Can't all be saints, Jerry.
Can't all be saints, Jerry.
Alright. Cool.
Even though the second brother dropped out of the mission, a bartender who owed the old lady a favor told the remaining brothers a useful piece of information. He said there was a group that robbed stores for a living. The oldest brother and the 2 others went back to their old ways, barged into their hideout with guns. The underlings ran for their lives, leaving only the young leader confused and scared. To force him to tell the truth, the oldest poured gasoline all over him, then stuffed a gun cleaning cloth in his mouth. After some intimidation, the young black guy insisted the police were lying, because at the time of the crime, there was no one playing basketball on the court.
Arrest nobody. How do you know nobody was playing basketball if you weren't there?
Cuz, bitch! Police said those people wasn't killed till 11 o'clock.
So what?
So they turned the court lights out at 10.
The oldest saw it was almost 10 o'clock, so he grabbed the young guy, but when they got to the court, the lights were still on. The oldest checked the time again. It had been almost 2 minutes past 10. Thinking he'd been tricked, the oldest lost his temper, and was about to drag him aside and tear him apart. Just as the young guy was about to die, the court lights turned off.
Fucking lucky.
Since the young guy wasn't lying, then the only ones who lied were the police. The oldest brother frowned deeply, realizing their mother's death was no simple accident, but he couldn't figure out why anyone would want to kill the kindest woman in the world. Luckily, the 4th brother casually mentioned the store security cameras, giving them a new direction to investigate. The next day they picked up the second brother and went to the store together. The robbers in the footage already had the money, but they deliberately found their mother hiding in the corner and shot her multiple times. After watching the whole thing, the oldest was sure it wasn't an accident. Seeing how heartbroken the 4 brothers were, the store owner secretly told them the guy who gave the police testimony always came to buy drinks after playing ball and had a very noticeable hairstyle.
You know, bro, like an afro, like Ben Wallace, the basketball player.
Pistons, yes, Ben Wallace.
Okay. Is he on the courts a lot?
On the courts or at the gym?
There was no gang shooting, there was an execution. They set Mom up, they set her up.